All right, let's dive in. Today, we're building a blueprint for emails that do more than just show up in an inbox. They actually make an impact. I mean, think about it. We're all drowning in digital noise. So how do you make your message the one that gets seen, read, and most importantly, acted on? Let's break it down.
Okay, it all comes down to this one number. Ready? 11 seconds. That's it. That is the average amount of time anyone, spends reading an email. Just 11 seconds. So you've got this tiny little window to grab their attention and get your point across before they just swipe away. The stakes? Yeah, they're incredibly high.
So here's where it gets really interesting. Where is that 11-second decision even being made? Well, over 60% of all emails, they're opened on a phone, on a mobile device. This isn't some little trend anymore, folks. It's just the way things are. So our entire strategy, everything we're about to talk about, it has to be built for a tiny screen that someone's holding in their hand.
And that right there, that's what we're calling the 11-second challenge. So how in the world do we design an email that can actually win in that tiny time frame on that even tinier screen? That's the puzzle, right? And that's exactly what this blueprint is all about solving.
All right, first things first. The absolute foundation of our blueprint, the most critical piece, is this. You have to design for thumbs. Yup, thumbs. That means every single email you build has to be based on a mobile-first philosophy. This isn't a nice-to-have anymore. It's just the core of making any of this work.
So what does mobile-first design actually mean? Well, it's a total shift in how you think about the process. For years, people would build these big, beautiful desktop designs and then just kind of shrink them down and hope for the best. Mobile First flips that completely on its head. You start with the smallest, most difficult screen, the phone. Get it perfect there, and then you add the cool extras and expand the layout for bigger screens.
And this comparison really nails the difference. The old way was designing for desktop and then shrinking it. You know the result, right? Tiny text you can't read, links that are impossible to tap with your thumb, it's a mess. The new way is all about building that solid, functional experience for mobile first, and then enhancing it for desktop. See the difference? We're building up, not chopping things down.
Okay, so how do you actually do this? It's pretty straightforward, really. It boils down to a few key rules. First, a single column layout. It's your best friend, trust me. It looks good on any screen without any fuss. Next, your buttons have to be big enough for a thumb to actually tap. Think at least 44 by 44 pixels. Fonts got to be readable, so start with at least 14 pixels for your main text. And maybe the most important thing, put your essential info above the fold, right at the top, so people see it without having to scroll.
All right, let's move on to the second piece of our blueprint. Now that we've got our mobile-first foundation locked in, we need to think about how to guide their eyes. This is all about structuring your content so that someone can scan it and get it almost instantly.
You know, a good email really has a clear anatomy, a predictable flow. You've got the header up top, which is all about your brand. Then, bam, the hero image to grab their attention. The body content is where you give them the details. The call to action button, that's the whole point, right? Tells them what to do next. And finally, the footer has all the necessary stuff like contact info and the unsubscribe link. Every single one of these parts has a job to do, and it has to do it fast, in that 11-second window.
Now, to make all that content easy to scan, you absolutely have to break it up. Nobody's going to read a giant wall of text, so think short paragraphs, like 2 or 3 sentences, max. Use bold text to make key ideas pop. And bullet points? They're fantastic for breaking things up. Oh, and white space. Don't be afraid of it. It isn't just empty space, it's a design tool that lets your content breathe and helps guide the reader's eye right where you want it to go.
Okay, here's a little technical number to put in your back pocket. 600 pixels. That's pretty much the industry standard width for an email. Why? Because sticking to 600 pixels means it's going to look good on most desktop email clients like Outlook or Gmail on a browser. It prevents that awful horizontal scrolling. It's just the magic number, the sweet spot for compatibility. Okay, on to pillar number 3, the message. Because let's be real, you can have the most beautiful design in the world, but if the words don't work, none of it matters. This is where we have to make every single word count. The goal is to get the reader engaged and push them to take that next step. And this part starts before they even open the email. It starts with the subject line. Take a look at this comparison. Our new products are here. Okay, that's a fact. It's fine. But what about your dream wardrobe just got 40% closer? Whoa! Now that is an invitation. It's intriguing, it hints at a benefit, and it makes you want to know more. And a quick pro tip, try to keep it under 50 characters so it doesn't get cut off on a phone screen.
I love this example because it perfectly sums up the golden rule of copywriting. Sell the benefit, not the feature. Saying your shoes are made from Italian leather, that's a feature. It's what the product is. But saying, step into all-day comfort and style, now that's the benefit. It's what the product does for me. And that's what people really care about. So always focus on the outcome for your reader.
And this same exact thinking applies to your call to action buttons. You know, those buttons you want people to click. Click here is, well, it's lazy and vague. But shop the sale now or download your free guide. Those are powerful. Why? Because they're specific and they use action words. The person knows exactly what's going to happen when they click, and that clarity makes all the difference.
Okay, so you've built this amazing email. You followed the first 3 pillars. You're done, right? Nope, not even close. The fourth and final piece of the puzzle is to optimize. This is how we go from good to great. And we don't do it by guessing. We do it by looking at the data.
A/B testing is your absolute secret weapon here. You're not sure which subject line will get more opens? Well, test it. Send version A to half your list and version B to the other half. Is a red button really better than a green one? Let's find out. Should you send it at 9 in the morning or 3 in the afternoon? Test it. You get the picture. Every single test teaches you something and makes your next campaign that much better.
And you know, optimization isn't just about getting more clicks. It's also about being inclusive. Your email has to work for everyone. A huge part of that is accessibility, especially color contrast. You've got to make sure your text is actually readable for people with visual impairments. The official guideline is a contrast ratio of at least 4.5 to 1 for normal text. It's a really simple thing to check, and it makes a world of difference.
Okay, one last super important pro tip for you. It's called the 10-2 kilobyte rule. Here's the deal. If the file size of your email gets bigger than 102 kilobytes, Gmail will literally chop the end of it off. It'll hide the rest of your beautiful message behind a view entire message link. No joke. So all that hard work could just vanish. You've got to keep your code clean and your images optimized to stay under that magic number.
So at the end of the day, this blueprint isn't just a checklist you run through once. It's a cycle. You build, you measure what happened, and you learn from it. It's all about constantly getting a little bit better. So that brings me to my final question for you. After everything we've just gone through, what is the one thing you're going to test in your next email campaign?